Tai arrived at his workshop early that morning, the autumn air crisp against his skin as he unlocked the gates to his scrapyard. Located on the outskirts of town, Ta's tech treasury had become his sanctuary over the years, a place where broken things found new purpose. He was inspecting a partially disassembled drone when the sky flashed bright blue. Ta shielded his eyes, thinking it was lightning, but the cloudless sky suggested otherwise. Minutes later, he heard footsteps approaching through the maze of shelving. "Your security is remarkably inadequate," came a smooth voice. Tai spun around to find himself face to face with the strangest woman he'd ever seen. Her skin had a subtle lavender tint, her eyes large and entirely black, with silver hair that seemed to move slightly despite the still air. "Who are you? How did you get in here?" he stammered. "I am Jia," she replied, pronouncing each syllable with precision. "I require components to repair my vessel. Your collection contains potentially compatible materials." Tay's mind raced. "Your vessel? You mean like a boat?" Jia sighed, clearly frustrated. "A spacecraft. I am not from your world." Tai laughed nervously. "Right. An alien, in my scrapyard, looking for spaceship parts." Jia simply raised her hand, revealing a small device that projected a holographic schematic into the air between them. Tay's laughter died in his throat. "Oh, indeed," Jia replied coldly. "Now will you assist me, or must I find another provider of parts?" Tai stared at the floating image, his heart pounding. The detailed blueprint showed components he recognized and others completely foreign to him. His engineer's mind started working despite his shock. Yes, I can help," he said, moving closer to examine the hologram. "Some of these circuits look similar to satellite tech I salvaged last month." Jia nodded stiffly. "Adequate. I need these repaired within your next solar cycle." She pointed to sections highlighted in red. "That's tomorrow. Pretty tight deadline for alien tech I've never seen before." "Is it impossible?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. The movement was too smooth, reminding Ta that whatever Jia looked like, she wasn't human. "No, not impossible. Just challenging." He smiled, curiosity overtaking fear. "I like challenges." For the first time, Jia's expression softened slightly. "Your optimism is noted." Tad led her deeper into the scrapyard, past towers of organized metal and plastic, to his main workshop. The large garage was crammed with tools, testing equipment, and half-finished projects. Jia examined everything with intense interest. "You build these devices yourself?" she asked, picking up a modified drone with additional sensors attached. "Most of them, yeah. I find parts, fix them, make them better sometimes." "Interesting. Your species has reputation for waste, not repurposing." Tai shrugged. "Some of us try to do better." As night fell, they worked side by side under bright workshop lights. Ta was surprised how quickly he adjusted to working with an alien. Jia had removed some strange tools from a small pack at her waist, their functions mysterious but clearly advanced. When she touched certain metals, they seemed to mold under her fingers. "How are you doing that?" Tai asked, watching her reshape a complex connector without heat. "Molecular manipulation," she answered simply. "Basic engineering technique. Basic for you, maybe. For us, it's science fiction." Jia paused her work. "Your technology level is uneven. Some primitive, some surprisingly advanced." "We're a work in progress," Ta said with a small laugh. The night deepened. Tai ordered delivery food, which Jia cautiously sampled after scanning it with another device. She seemed surprised to find it acceptable. "Your planet has interesting flavor combinations," she admitted, taking another bite of spicy noodles. "Where exactly are you from?" Ta finally asked the question that had been burning in his mind. Jia pointed upward. "A system you call HD 40,307. 6 planets orbit a K-type star. My world is the 4th. That's far." "Yes, My ship is designed for long journeys, and it broke down here. Bad luck. Jia's expression darkened, not entirely accidental. I was investigating your world. You mean spying on us? Ta set down his tools. Observing, she corrected. My people are explorers and traders. We seek resources and knowledge. Is that why you're really here? Not just for parts. Jia hesitated, then nodded slowly. My mission was reconnaissance, but a satellite detection system damaged my ship when I came too close. Primitive but effective. Tai felt a mix of pride and concern. So others know you're here? No. I avoided complete capture and landed in the forest nearby. My ship is cloaked, but cannot leave atmosphere in current condition. As they continued working, Ta noticed Jia watching him with increasing interest. When their hands accidentally touched while reaching for the same tool, she didn't pull away immediately. Your species is resilient, she observed, and more capable than our data suggested. Thanks, I think. Ta smiled. Your species is, well, I have no comparison. But you're not what I expected aliens to be like. What did you expect? Little green men. Tentacles. Definitely not someone who looks almost human and enjoys spicy food. Jia's lips curved slightly. Convergent evolution is common. And your spicy food contains compounds similar to plants on my world. By dawn, they had made remarkable progress. The damaged components were nearly repaired. Ta's human ingenuity complementing Jia's advanced knowledge. As sunlight filtered through dusty windows, Jia stepped back from their work. You are unexpectedly helpful. I had low expectations. Ta grinned tiredly. First rule of engineering. Never underestimate someone who makes things from junk. A wise rule. Jia looked at him with new respect. We will finish tomorrow. Then I must decide. Decide what? She touched the repaired circuit gently. What to tell my people about yours? 3 days later, Tai was beginning to adjust to having an alien in his workshop. Jia had grudgingly acknowledged that his primitive fabrication techniques had merit, especially after he managed to adapt a satellite dish component to serve as a replacement for her damaged communication array. This conductor alloy, Jia said, examining a piece of metal Ta had handed her. It's remarkably similar to beryllium. How did your species discover this composition? Trial and error, mostly, Tai replied, trying not to stare at the way her fingers moved with uncanny precision. That's from an old military radar system. I got it at an auction. Jia nodded. Your species wastes resources, but occasionally produces interesting results. Thanks, I think. Ta smiled. So what's it like where you come from? Your home planet. For the first time, Jia's expression softened. Nanal is beautiful. The sky is amber at dusk, and we have 3 moons that create complex tidal patterns in our oceans. Sounds nice, Ta said quietly. It is, but our resources are depleted after centuries of technological advancement. That's why I'm here. My people, the Nemilians, send scouts to find materials we need. Tai frowned. You're here to take our resources. Jia looked away. I'm just here to repair my ship. Tai wasn't sure he believed her. The morning sun filtered through the dusty windows of the workshop as Ta brought in 2 cups of steaming coffee. Jia had been working through the night, her need for sleep apparently much less than humans. I brought you something to try, Ta said, offering her a cup. Jia sniffed the dark liquid suspiciously. Is this a stimulant? Coffee? Yeah, kind of. Most humans drink it daily. She took a cautious sip, then her large black eyes widened. This contains compounds similar to a beverage we produce from mineral springs on Namil. So aliens like coffee too. The universe makes more sense already, Tai laughed. They continued their work on the ship's navigation system. Ta had suggested using parts from old GPS devices he had collected, and to his surprise, Jia agreed to try his idea. Your approach is unconventional, she admitted as they tested the makeshift repair. but effective. The signal clarity has improved by 37%. Sometimes the simplest solution works best, Ta said, pleased with the result. As they worked, Ta noticed Jia watching him with growing curiosity. She asked questions about his life, his work, how he learned to fix things without formal training. My father ran this yard before me, he explained while soldering delicate connections. He taught me everything he knew. When something breaks, you don't throw it away. You figure out how to make it work again. This philosophy is rare among advanced species, Jia said. When technology evolves rapidly, older models become obsolete. Nothing is really obsolete if it still works, Tai argued. That's just wasteful thinking. Jia's silver hair seemed to shimmer as she tilted her head. Perhaps this is why your Earth still has resources we lack. You haven't consumed everything yet. The casual comment made Ta pause. So your people really are running out of materials. That's why you're exploring. Jia sighed, setting down her tools. Nandal has been inhabited for millennia longer than your Earth. We advanced quickly, built magnificent cities, developed technology beyond what you can imagine. But everything has a cost. And now you're looking for new planets to mine. Tai asked directly. It's more complicated than that, Jia said, turning to face him fully. We seek sustainable partnerships when possible. But yes, some worlds are assessed for resource extraction. Tai felt a chill. And Earth. Which category are we in? That determination hasn't been made, she said carefully. My mission was preliminary observation only. They worked in silence for a while, the mood tenser than before. Later, as the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the workshop floor, Tai decided to break the ice. Want to see something cool? He asked, leading Jia to a tarp-covered object in the corner. He pulled away the covering to reveal an old motorcycle, lovingly restored with both original and custom parts. I've been working on this for 2 years, he explained, every piece either fixed or made by hand. Jia ran her slender lavender fingers over the chrome handlebars. You created this for transportation. Partly. Mostly because it's beautiful, and I wanted to see if I could make it work again. Creation for its own sake, Jia murmured. We used to value this. Want to try it? Tai asked impulsively. Minutes later, they were racing down empty back roads. Jia seated behind Tai on the motorcycle, her arms wrapped around his waist. Her initial stiffness gave way to something like excitement as they accelerated, the wind whipping past them. This is exhilarating, she shouted over the engine's roar. Tai grinned, feeling her grip tighten as they leaned into a curve. The strange reality of sharing his motorcycle with an alien woman from across the galaxy struck him as wonderfully absurd. They stopped at a lookout point above the town. The sunset painted the sky in deep oranges and purples, not unlike how Jia had described her homeworld. In 2 more days, the repairs will be complete, Jia said quietly. I will need to return and report my findings. And what will you tell them about Earth? Tai asked, watching her profile against the fading light. Jia turned to him, her expression troubled. The truth. That this planet has valuable resources, but also, she hesitated. Also what? That its inhabitants have potential worth preserving. She looked away quickly. This complicates matters. Because it's easier if we're just primitive creatures not worth considering. Yes, she admitted honestly. Empathy makes exploitation difficult. Tai stepped closer to her. Is there a way? For our worlds to help each other instead? Perhaps, Jia said softly. But such decisions are not made by scouts like me. As they rode back to the workshop under a starry sky, Ta felt Jia rest her head against his back, a gesture that seemed surprisingly human. He wondered what would happen when her ship was fixed, when she returned to her people with her report on Earth. He was beginning to realize he didn't want her to leave, and from the way her arms held him just a little tighter than necessary, he wondered if perhaps she felt the same. What does this symbol mean? Tai asked, pointing to a marking on Jia's tablet device. They had been working late, the scrapyard illuminated only by work lights and the glow of Jia's technology. Jia snatched the device away too quickly. Nothing important. But Ta had been learning to read her expressions. "You're lying." After a long silence, Jia sighed. "It's a countdown. The rest of my expedition will arrive in 4 Earth days." "Expedition? You said you were alone." "I am the scout. If I don't report back, they'll assume the planet is hostile. If I do," she trailed off, "they'll come and what? Take whatever they want." Ta stood up, suddenly angry. "You've been using me this whole time." "It's complicated," Jia insisted. "My people need these resources to survive, but I've seen enough to know Earth shouldn't be harvested. Your people have potential." Their argument was interrupted by the sound of thunder. An unseasonable storm had rolled in, and before they could secure the workshop, lightning struck nearby, sending a power surge through the building. Ta was thrown across the room when the electrical panel exploded. When he regained consciousness, Jia was kneeling beside him, a strange device humming as she passed it over his injuries. "Don't move," she said softly. "Your wounds are significant but treatable." Through pain-blurred vision, Ta saw genuine concern in her alien eyes. Rain pounded against the metal roof as Jia helped Ta to sit up. His body ached, but the worst pain was fading under the influence of whatever device she was using. "What is that thing?" he asked, nodding toward the small silver object in her hand. "A medical harmonizer. It encourages your cells to accelerate their natural healing process." She continued moving it slowly over his burns and cuts. Tai winced as feeling returned to his injured arm. "So you're a doctor too." "All scouts receive basic medical training. Your injuries would normally take weeks to heal properly. This will reduce that to days." She paused, her black eyes meeting his. "I'm sorry I wasn't honest with you." Lightning flashed again, illuminating the damaged workshop. Water was beginning to leak through the roof in several places. "Help me up," Ta said, grimacing as he stood. "We need to save what we can." Together they moved equipment away from the leaks and covered sensitive electronics with tarps. The main power was out, leaving only Jia's technology and a few battery-powered lamps for light. When they had done what they could, they sat on an old sofa in the small office area. Tay's breathing was still labored from the exertion. "Tell me everything," he said. "No more secrets." Jia nodded slowly. "My people, the Nemilians, are facing extinction. Our world can no longer support our civilization. We have stretched our resources too thin." "So you're looking for a new home?" "Not exactly. We need specific minerals that are abundant on Earth, but rare in our star system. Minerals essential for our technology and survival." Tay frowned. "And you can't just ask for them. Set up some kind of trade." "The Galactic Council has rules about contacting developing worlds. Earth is classified as pre-contact." Jia looked down at her hands. "The alternative protocol is less favorable to the developing world." "You mean you take what you need without asking," Ta said flatly. "Resources are extracted with minimal contact. The native species is left to develop naturally, minus some raw materials." "That's stealing," Ta said, his voice rising. "On a planetary scale, it's survival," Jia countered, though her voice lacked conviction. "At least, that's what I was taught." The storm raged outside as they sat in uncomfortable silence. Finally, Ta spoke again. "These others coming in 4 days. What exactly will they do?" Jia's silver hair seemed to dim in the low light. "They will review my report and make a final assessment. If I recommend resource extraction, they will begin setting up equipment at key locations around your planet. And if you don't recommend it, they may overrule me. Scout recommendations are just one factor in the decision." Tai stood up, wincing at the pain in his side. "So Earth's future depends on your report?" "Partly." Jia watched him pace the small room. "But I've never seen a scout recommendation ignored completely." "Then don't recommend taking our resources," Ta said simply. "It's not that easy. My people need Your people need to find another way, Tai interrupted. One that doesn't involve stealing from others. Gia stood now too, her normally composed features showing anger. You think we haven't tried? We've searched dozens of star systems, developed incredible recycling technologies, even attempted to synthesize elements. Nothing has been enough. So that justifies taking from us, from a planet that doesn't even know you exist. What would your people do in our position? Jia challenged. If survival meant taking resources from a less advanced world. Todd didn't answer immediately. The question was fair. Some would do exactly what you're planning, he finally admitted. But others would look for a better solution. There is no better solution, Gia said quietly. Maybe we haven't found it yet. Ta moved closer to her. You said yourself that humans sometimes find unusual solutions to problems. Let me help you look for one. Another lightning strike hit nearby, and the remaining lights flickered. In the momentary darkness, Ta felt Jia's hand find his. You would help even after I told you what we planned. Her voice was barely audible above the storm. I help people fix things. That's what I do. He squeezed her hand gently. And maybe your people and mine can both be fixed. In the dim light, Tai saw something change in Jia's expression. A softening, a glimmer of hope perhaps. 4 days, she said. We have 4 days to find an alternative that satisfies both our worlds. As the night wore on, they huddled together for warmth in the powerless workshop, planning and talking. Jia explained more about her world's needs, the specific minerals they required, and the technology they could potentially offer in return. Tay suggested possible Earth locations with high concentrations of what they needed, areas that could be ethically mined with minimal environmental impact if proper agreements were made. Near dawn, as the storm finally began to ease, Jia used her medical device on Tai again. Why are you helping me? He asked sleepily as the pain relief made him drowsy. You could have left me injured and just taken what you needed to finish your ship. Jia's hand lingered on his arm. Because in studying your world, I've learned something important. What's that? Ta murmured, his eyes heavy. That connection matters more than resources. She looked toward the brightening sky. And I'd never felt connected to any world like I do to yours. So your people are coming to strip mine Earth, Ta said the next morning. His injuries had healed with remarkable speed thanks to Jia's technology. That was the plan, Jia admitted, but I'm going to recommend against it. And they'll listen. Tai asked skeptically. Probably not, Jia replied. The Resource Council makes these decisions, but there might be another way. She explained the concept of the Galactic Network, a vast communication system connecting intelligent species across the stars. Your people call it social media, I believe. There's a public forum where cases can be presented. Space Reddit. Ta laughed despite the gravity of the situation. An imprecise but workable comparison, Jia said with a small smile. If we can demonstrate that Earth has more value as a trading partner than as a resource extraction site, public opinion could force the Council to reconsider. Over the next day, they worked together to compile evidence of human ingenuity. The way Tay repurposed technology, the creative solutions to complex problems, Earth's unique biodiversity. Jia transmitted their case to the network, and within hours their post had garnered unprecedented attention. Species from across the galaxy were fascinated by Earth's potential. But then Jia received a direct communication from her superiors. They're ordering me to return immediately, she said, her expression troubled. They're not pleased with my intervention. Tai felt his heart sink. So you're leaving. Jia looked at him, conflict clear in her eyes. I have to choose. The workshop was quiet except for the soft hum of Jia's devices. Outside, birds sang in the morning light, unaware that the fate of their world hung in the balance. What happens if you don't go back? Tai asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Jia's silver hair rippled with emotion. I would be marked as a deserter, unable to return home. She touched a small pendant at her neck. My family would face questions, perhaps even punishment. I can't ask you to do that. You didn't ask. Jia moved to the window, looking out at the Earth sky. But I'm considering it anyway. They had spent the past day creating what Jia called a species introduction package for the Galactic network. Ta had shown her human music, art, and inventions. They had recorded examples of Earth's unique ecosystem. Most importantly, they had demonstrated how humans could repair and repurpose technology in ways her people had forgotten. Look at the responses, Jia said, showing Ta her tablet. The screen was filled with alien symbols rapidly changing. These are comments from different species across the galaxy. What are they saying? Ta asked, leaning closer. Many are fascinated by human creativity. Some suggest Earth would make a valuable trading partner rather than a resource target. She scrolled through more symbols. The Council won't be able to ignore this level of interest. Ta smiled, hope rising. So it's working. Perhaps. But Jia was interrupted by a loud alert from her device. She read the message, her expression darkening. What is it? Commander Min has accelerated the timeline. The expedition will arrive tomorrow, not in 3 days. Jia put down the tablet. They suspect I've been compromised. Compromised? You mean because you like us? Ta asked. Because I like you, Jia said softly. Scouts are chosen for their emotional detachment. I failed in that regard. Ta felt a strange warmth spread through him despite the dire news. Is that why they want you to return immediately? Yes. They fear I will present a biased assessment. She straightened her shoulders. They are correct. So what do we do? Ta asked, moving to stand beside her. One day isn't enough time to change their minds through social media posts. Jia was quiet for a moment, thinking. There is one option. Risky, but possible. She turned to face him. I could request a direct council hearing. What does that mean? I would present Earth's case directly to the Resource Council with evidence. It's rarely granted, but as a senior scout, I have the right to ask. She hesitated, but I would need a human representative to accompany me. Ta blinked in surprise. You mean me? Go to space? To meet your leaders? Yes, to show them firsthand what humans are capable of. Jia's black eyes searched his face. It would be dangerous. The Council might decide to detain you to prevent knowledge of alien life spreading on Earth. So I might never come back, Ta said slowly. That is a possibility, Jia admitted. I cannot guarantee your safety. Ta walked around the workshop, looking at the life he had built. His tools, his projects, the familiar comfort of his small world. Could he leave it all behind? What about the expedition arriving tomorrow? He asked. If we leave now, we can reach the Council before they begin extraction procedures. My ship is repaired enough for the journey. And if I don't go? Jia's expression was grave. Then I return alone and submit my report. The Council will likely ignore my recommendations in favor of Commander Min's assessment. Earth will be classified as a resource planet. Ta picked up a small gear from his workbench, turning it in his fingers. You know, I've never been further than the next town over. The idea of going to another planet is... He laughed nervously. It's insane. Yes, Jia agreed. By human standards, it is quite insane. Their eyes met, and Tai saw something there he hadn't noticed before. Fear, yes, but also hope. And something else, something very human. Will your ship even fit 2 people? He asked, already knowing he would go. It will be intimate quarters, Jia said, the hint of a smile on her lavender lips. But functional. Ta nodded, his decision made. I need an hour to pack and leave a note for my cousin. He should know what happened to me, even if I can't tell him the whole truth. 1 hour, Jia agreed. Then we must launch. As Ta gathered his few belongings and wrote a letter explaining his sudden departure, he felt strangely calm. His whole life had been about fixing broken things. Now he was trying to fix a broken relationship between two worlds. When he finished, he found Jia outside, her eyes on the sky. Having second thoughts, he asked, joining her. No. She turned to him, reaching out to touch his hand. But I want you to understand something. Whatever happens, whatever the council decides, I am grateful to have met you, Ta. Even though I complicated your mission. Because you complicated it, she said. You showed me there's more to being advanced than technology. There's wisdom in how you value what others discard. The wind picked up, blowing Ta's hair across his face. In a few hours, he would leave Earth behind, perhaps forever. Ready? Jia asked. No, Tai admitted with a small laugh. But let's go anyway. 2 weeks later, Tai stood beside his fully repaired pickup truck, watching as Jia made final adjustments to her spacecraft, now hidden in the forest behind his property. The modifications are complete, she announced. It will accommodate both of us, though the journey will be uncomfortable for you. I still can't believe I'm doing this, Ta said, nervously adjusting the bag slung over his shoulder containing everything he was taking to the stars. Jia approached him, her movements more fluid and natural than when they'd first met. The Council has agreed to formal diplomatic contact with Earth. Your planet will be recognized as a developing civilization with protected status. Thanks to your rebellion, Ta smiled. Our rebellion, Jia corrected him. The engineering partnership proposal we submitted has been provisionally accepted. They're particularly interested in your hacking approach to technology. Tad looked back at his workshop one last time. He'd left it to his cousin, with a very confusing letter of explanation. Will we come back? Yes, Jia promised. Once we've established the diplomatic framework, and our documentation of human-mammalian cooperation continues to be the most followed account on the Galactic network. Space influencers, Tai laughed. Who would have thought? As they boarded the small craft, Jia hesitated, then reached for Ta's hand. Her touch was warm despite her alien biology. I came for spare parts, she said softly. I didn't expect to find a partner. Tai squeezed her hand. I always knew something would fall from the sky into my scrapyard. I just thought it would be a satellite, not the woman I'd follow to the stars. The spacecraft rose silently into the night, leaving Earth behind, but not forgotten. The journey to the Galactic Council had changed everything. Tag remembered standing before the tall, imposing figures of the Resource Council, his voice shaking at first as he spoke about Earth. The council members had varied in appearance, some with multiple limbs, others with skin that shifted colors, and one that appeared to be made entirely of light. By the end of his speech about human ingenuity and Earth's potential as a partner rather than a resource, even the stern Commander Min had looked thoughtful. Now, 2 weeks after their return to Earth, Ta and Jia worked side by side preparing for their next journey. This time, they would not go alone. 3 official representatives from Earth's governments would join them. Scientists who had been carefully selected and prepared for the truth about alien life. The cloaking device is working perfectly, Jia said, running her hand along the invisible hull of her ship. Your modifications actually improved its efficiency by 12%. Just repurposed some old satellite components, Ta said modestly. Nothing special. That's exactly what makes it special, Jia replied. My people stopped looking at old technology for new solutions centuries ago. We became too focused on moving forward. The forest around them was quiet except for birdsong and the gentle rustle of leaves. Ta had chosen this remote location for their launch site carefully. Soon it would become Earth's first unofficial spaceport for diplomatic missions. Are you nervous about going back? Tai asked, noting how Jia kept checking and rechecking systems that were already perfectly calibrated. She paused, her silver hair catching the sunlight. Yes, my decision to advocate for Earth has changed my standing among my people. Some see me as a hero, others as a traitor to our traditional ways. Change is never easy, Ta said, moving to stand beside her. We're facing the same thing here. When the truth about alien life becomes public, everything will change for humans too. For better or worse? Both, probably. Ta smiled. But that's how progress works. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Their relationship had deepened during their time before the council, sharing the cramped quarters of Jie's ship for the journey, facing danger together, and standing united before the council had created a bond neither had expected. The Galactic Network post, documenting their unusual partnership, had indeed become the most viewed content in recent memory, sparking debate across countless worlds. The Earth delegation arrives tomorrow, Jia said, closing the access panel she'd been working on. Are you ready to be a diplomat? Tai laughed. Me? I'm just a guy who fixes things. You're the diplomat. No, Jia said seriously, taking his hands in hers. You are the bridge between our worlds. You saw value where others saw only resources. You fixed what seemed broken beyond repair, the relationship between Earth and the galaxy. The sun was setting now, casting long shadows through the trees. In the fading light, Jia's alien features seemed both strange and familiar to Ta. He had stopped seeing her as different weeks ago. I've been thinking, Ta said, about what happens after the diplomatic mission. Will you stay on Earth or return to Namel? Jia was quiet for a moment. I don't know if I belong fully in either world anymore. Coming to Earth changed me. Maybe we don't have to choose, Ta suggested. The partnership means regular travel between our worlds. We could be ambassadors together. Jia's expression softened. Is that what you want? I want to keep fixing things with you, Ta said simply, whether they're machines or relationships between worlds. Above them, the first stars became visible in the darkening sky. Somewhere up there was Namel, with its amber sunsets and 3 moons. Somewhere up there were countless worlds that humans had never dreamed of, now potentially within reach. Come on, Ta said, taking Jia's hand. Let's head back to the workshop. I want to show you one more modification I made to the communication system. As they walked through the forest, Jia leaned closer to him. Do you ever regret it? Meeting me, learning about the wider galaxy and all its complications. Tay thought about his life before. Quiet, predictable, safe. And now, full of wonders, dangers, and possibilities he could never have imagined. Not for a second, he said. Some things are meant to break so they can be rebuilt better. Jia smiled, understanding completely. Like a spacecraft that crashes in exactly the right scrapyard. Exactly, Tai agreed, as they walked hand in hand between the trees, 2 worlds joined by an unexpected connection. The end.